You got questions? Garen and Glenn have answers. Pick up the phone and give them a call. Tell them Soldier I sent you. 321-631-1300.
Welcome to another exciting edition of American Warrior Radio. Really, folks, thanks for joining us. This is the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues military and veteran related. We get into benefits, we get into all kinds of things. If you're a military veteran or on active duty or know somebody that is, you want to stay tuned to American Warrior Radio, because this is not just American Warrior Radio, but it's the Talk to Me station, and we want to hear from you folks. This program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present. So please get paper and jot down a note or two, because like I said, we're always bringing you good information. As you all know, my name is Garen Cohn. I'm the founder of AVET Project and a retired legal advocate for veterans, as well as an Air Force veteran myself, but I never fly through the airwaves alone.
Good morning, I'm Glenn McGuffey, manager of your Brevard County Veteran Service office and team, and we're located out in Viera at the County Government Center, Building B. That's Bravo Building for all you troops out there. And we're on the first floor. Can't miss us. Everybody else that works in that building put signs up and said Veteran Services this way. So.
And that's why we ask you to grab a pen. The number?
The number is 633-2012. That's 633-2012.
That's the County Veteran Service Office, where you're going to get... How much do you charge for the representation out there?
Our favorite word, we're absolutely no charge. It's free. Our service is free. We never charge, nor should anybody charge, nor should you ever pay for help with filing VA claims, benefits earned by service to our country.
There are special situations when you go into an appellate status where an attorney can make an arrangement with the VA and so on and so forth, but when you introduce a claim before the VA, it's statutorily prohibited to charge a veteran for representation.
That's right. A lawyer can't charge you, an accredited claimant representative can't charge you, we can't charge you, nor would we charge our brothers and sisters, just as a matter of moral obligation.
Exactly. Now, we're talking about free. We had a really great outreach just 1 week ago. We've been talking about it, talking it up, and now let's kind of do a debriefing. Glenn, the 2012 stand down at Cocoa Armory, how were things going out there?
It went fantastic, and just some quick numbers here. It was the biggest that we've had so far, as you might unfortunately expect in today's economy. We had 268 veterans that we were able to assist.
268.
And plus 23 non-veterans, and many of those non-veterans, some were children, some were spouses of the veterans, a few were not veterans that just came in off the street, you know, and we're all God's children, so we helped them out also. It was a fantastic event. As I said on scene last week.
Yeah, on the live drop-ins on American Warrior Radio.
Exactly. You know, we had over 200 volunteers. Thank you, thank you,
wow.
Thank you. And that's what we need for all kinds of efforts to help our veterans, both the current ones, the ones on active duty, and the ones that have just gotten out, and those of us like me who've been retired for a while. Because not everybody is fortunate enough to get out of the military and either find a job or find another career and end up with more than one income, and they get their own fixed incomes, and you know the cost of living has skyrocketed every year, as we're all painfully aware, and the pensions don't go up and keep track with that at all.
Well, that's an important point to make, because the folks that show up at Stand Down are either homeless or at risk of being homeless, and it's a terrific endeavor by the Veterans Memorial Center and the board that they've established. It's really an ad hoc committee, the Stand Down Committee.
Absolutely, and you know the VA kicks in with products from the DoD, bedrolls and sleeping bags and
boots.
One year they had tents. This year they had a ton of boots and shoes and what have you. And the community kicks in, and it's just a grand thing. It warms your heart particularly my heart as a veterans advocate, and Garen's heart as a veterans advocate, and Kim's.
Oh, for sure. And some of the folks, I want to just mention a couple names here. Dr. Bill Vianos is the chairman of the Stand Down Committee. So hats off to you, Bill. Wonderful job. Maury and Emma Meisner and everybody out the Veterans Memorial Center on Sykes Creek Parkway, southeast corner of the Merritt Square Mall. Just a fantastic job as always. I want to change things up here for just a moment because as you all know that regularly listen to WMEL AM 1300, we are now carrying the Tampa Bay Rays, and for the first caller, this is new now. This isn't the AVET Project prize pack. This is coming from the studio here from WMEL. First caller to, what's the number, Glenn?
The number is 321-631-1300.
You're going to get, go ahead.
631-1300.
You're going to get 2 Tampa Bay Ray tickets for the baseball game, but you got to call now. First caller. Wanted to get that in and out of the way. So the stand down was great. Good participation. It's kind of a good and bad thing. It's good that we were able to serve them. It's bad that the numbers are increasing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's wonderful we helped that many people, and like you say, it's bad that we had to help that many people. There are many programs going on. Secretary Shinseki of the VA is still targeting getting rid of veterans homelessness, and now they've had to add a year or two to that to his projection, but by 2015 he was shooting for 2013. And it's just, that wasn't a realistic projection, I don't think, from the start, because we have a growing, unfortunately, homeless veteran population. We saw people out there who were Iraq and Afghanistan combat veterans who were homeless and hadn't been back that long from the combat arena, and one of them had his wife and 3 small children with him.
So. This is not right, folks. We've got to, and it's also an example of how folks can get involved in the neighborhood. When we pull 200 volunteers from Brevard County, basically, I'm sure some came in from Orlando. That shows there are plenty of opportunities for folks to get involved and help these warriors.
Oh, absolutely, and keep that in there, and then we want you we want us and our efforts in your heart, and we want also your physical body there sometimes to help us out if that's at all possible on your part.
And you can always make a donation, a gift to help the soldiers through AVET Project. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and the money goes directly to programs and services. It's an all-volunteer organization. If you want to get involved, check us out online, avetproject.org. AVET's an acronym for American Veterans Empowerment Team, and that's what we all are. We come together and form a team. Another quick mention, because I know we got some neat stuff we want to get into here and inform the folks, but the Brevard County Manatees is hosting every home game a military salute for either an active duty member or a veteran of the armed forces. We want to get a shout out to the general manager, Kyle Smith, for doing this program. AVET Project has partnered with them, and through American Warrior Radio, we're going to announce some of the past winners here. But if you're interested, if you know somebody that's a vet or on active duty, and you'd like to have a night out at the ballpark, go to avetproject.org. Click on the Facebook icon. You can find out all about it. And you're going to get free tickets for 8 box seats. You get a hot dog, a beverage. You get a nice recognition on the field, as well as a beautiful plaque that a Vietnam vet has engineered and made for us to present to them. So it's a neat deal, and it's what? Free!
Free, our favorite word.
Free!
and as I understand it, the goal here is to give these free box seats away to veterans and their families.
That's right. Every home game, up to 8 people, so jump online and sign. Get involved and celebrate yourself. A lot of people, I don't want the pat on the back. Come on. This is the Manatees wanting to thank these veterans or active duty members for their service, and I can't think of a better way to do it than at ballpark.
Absolutely. I love ball games, and AC sounds real great to me as we come into the heat of the year.
For sure. Well, Glenn, I know we got so much to cover, and we've got a special interview that's going to be coming up on the second segment of American Warrior Radio with the good folks at Northrop Grumman. So stay tuned for that. But you got some legislative updates you want to throw out there.
Yeah. As you may or may not be aware, the Pentagon and the administration are proposing some significant increases in the prices that retirees have to pay for Tricare. That's the insurance that retirees get from the military as a result of being retired from the military, either for medical retirement or for 20 years or more service requirement.
Wait, whoa, hold on. When I signed my contract back in the early 80s, it said if I do 20 years, I get free health care for me and my family for life.
Well, that's right, and that issue was fought and fought and fought.
And we lost.
Bud Day, the lead person of that, an attorney who's also a Medal of Honor winner, was, and in short, we lost. But what we did get was Tricare for life. So what that is once you're 65, the military was kicking us out of the military healthcare system, us military retirees, and then you just had Medicare to cover you. So they just completely reneged on their promise that was in writing, by the way. So now they replaced it with Tricare for Life, which is a free supplement for Medicare. You still have to go on Medicare as your primary and pay whatever the cost is at
Part
that
B,
time.
100 some
Part
bucks
B,
or whatever.
yeah, exactly. And then you get Tricare for Life, which is free, so 99.9% of the time, you're not paying anything for your health care. So that's okay. It just took you out of the military health care system, but it still covered the promise they made to take care of your health care for life.
Now, so what's all this about?
Well, now they want to start charging fees, particularly for what they're calling the working age military retirees, and that's those below age 65 when they go on Medicare. And they're going to add an annual copay, which is within the next 5 years will quadruple what they're paying now.
So if you're paying $5 now, it could be $15 in 3 years?
Yeah, well, and there's
this is an example.
There's a get-in fee right now, which for a single person is like $260 a year to get Tricare. But when you're before this Tricare for Life thing I talked about, and then you have a couple of plans to choose from, then the one you pay for is $260. Within 5 years, that would be like $800. And they're selling you on false logic. They're saying just a little bit of an increase, and it's look what we did. We managed to get it tied to the cost of living index every year, not to the medical cost of living index, which is significantly higher than the regular cost of living index. Well, that's all poopa, because in 5 years, it is tied to the medical cost of living. So they just, it's kind of like stabbing you slowly to start with, and then really sticking it.
This is watching for those snakes in the grass.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, Glenn. Everybody's cutting back. Come on now. You know the GSA and Department of Ed. Everybody's trimming their budgets and cutting back, so why shouldn't vets have to? Well, that is true, isn't it?
Well, I'm certain people
Anybody
would like
been watching
to
the
think
news?
Yeah, watch the news. Let me do some reminders if you don't watch the news, or there's a couple here you may not even know about. Recent reports indicate that Defense Secretary Leon Panetta is commuting on military aircraft to his home in Northern California. And one of the service advocate organizations, NOUS, said that it's important to note, yes it is very important to note, that 24 round trips cost the Air Force as much as $860,000 for him to go home and visit.
On a weekly basis.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
what I heard anyway.
Yeah.
So we got a tremendous amount of waste there.
Okay.
And this is not even scratching the surface.
It's not. And then the General Services Administration.
We all hear about that lately?
Yeah, you probably did hear about this.
I haven't picked my jaw back up.
It was big in the news. Panetta wasn't so big in the news, but the GSA held a lavish, that's a good word, Las Vegas meeting for 300 employees, spending more than $830,000 of our tax dollars, 200,000 of which were paid to a single employee for the best, employee group maybe, for the best video production they could come up with about something to do with GSA. Certainly it wasn't about how they protect money.
No, or do accomplish their mission, and that's what's so odd. So you're telling me, while all this kind of rampant, blatant abuse is going on, there are those within the Pentagon and the legislature that are trying to impose increased fees on military retirees?
Yeah, try and balance the budget on the backs of retirees.
Oh.
Come on.
Time to make some noise, people.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, there's all kinds of places the government can go look besides military retirees who paid the way for our freedoms today, that make this country free, that make America free. I mean, you know, there's the you may not know this. The government actually spent millions of dollars on some projects like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You may have heard of the Alaskan Bridge to Nowhere, and many other silly, frivolous waste of our taxpayer dollars. And you want to balance this on the backs of retirees. Something wrong with this picture, something wrong.
Well, I think what primarily, and I'll interject an editorial comment here, we've got far too many veterans taking up positions of leadership in this country. So all you guys and gals out there that have been in the military, time to step up and take this country back. You need to get involved in your local town councils, county commissions, state governments, and certainly up in Washington, D.C., because I know the number is shrinking every year as to how many vets actually live and work in D.C.
Oh, absolutely. And
well, there's part of the problem. There's just no appreciation for what sacrifices are made by having a career in the military. Even 4 years is a tremendous sacrifice.
oh, absolutely. And you know, probably, and this is me speaking, probably the reasons that we don't have many veterans stepping up to leadership roles in Washington, D.C. is, you know, I got a real bad taste in my mouth about serving the country, having the newspapers go try and scrape out every piece of dirt they can on my background while I'm running for office. And so, you know, that just goes and rubs me wrong as a veteran. It rubs a lot of veterans wrong, so they just opt to stay out of it. Fellow veterans out there, especially you ones that are younger than me, it's time to step up to the plate. We got to get back to where we were after World War II, where the most of the congressmen and senators were veterans, had served our country,
had some real ownership.
That's the only way we're going to make it get better. Editorial Glenn McGuffey.
Well, since you're on a roll there, why don't you announce we do have a winner for the Tampa Bay Rays tickets.
All right. Walt Meyer, or Meyer, Meyer, okay.
Well, congratulations, Walt. You're there in Cape Canaveral, and you're going to go get to see the Tampa Bay Rays live in person, thanks to WMEL through American Warrior Radio.
And I'm sure they'll be a great team again this year, and I know that's a great chance for you to see them free.
Awesome. We should mention, and I want to do this before we run out of time, folks, if you're in the Space Coast or Treasure Coast area, I want you to get involved in this effort to welcome home veterans. It's a parade that some private citizens and I believe a retired colonel got together. AVET Project is helping as much as we can. I'd like to see the entire community get together. New Haven Avenue in downtown Melbourne on April 14th. April 14th at 4 p.m. It's going to be music that the city's putting on, but we'd really like to have a robust showing of folks come out, not just to watch the parade, but also to participate. So you can check that out at avetproject.org also.
That's next Saturday, folks.
That's right, that's right. So, and there's the fishing clinic, which we've spoken about, and it's already filled, but I think these guys have done such a tremendous job, they're going to offer it again.
Yeah, they mentioned that when we talked to them on the radio a 3 weeks ago. And it's coming up Wednesday, April 11th. That's coming up right around the corner.
Yep.
This coming Wednesday.
It's put on by Anglers for Conservation, which is also a nonprofit group helping out the vets. They offered a free fishing clinic, surf fishing clinic for veterans, and I'm sure they're going to do that again.
And they're going to do it again, and we'll bring it to you.
That's for sure. We are, like I said, we're priming for a nice interview with Northrop Grumman, who's helped out AVET Project in the past, continues to do so, as we discuss a mass pack out at Northrop Grumman in their auditorium next Friday, where we're going to be able to assemble a bunch of our EEVs and empowerment equipment boxes for troops on the front lines in Afghanistan. So stay tuned for that interview. And like I said, we'll also bring you some more information about the Manatees and their goal to salute our military every home game this season.
And don't run away. We're going to be right back with you.
We've got some time, so
and we're going to stay here.
I wanted to just mention, though, the importance of what you were talking about with the folks trying to raise money, pay down the debt on the backs of military. Give them an example. Who can they contact directly right now to make some noise?
Well, contact your local congressman. For those of you who live south of Port St. John, that's Congressman Bill Posey.
Good man.
And you can reach him at 632-1776. Rob Medina is his veteran frontman, and he's a good troop. That's, again, 632-1776. If you live north of Port St. John, it's Congresswoman Sandy Adams. And actually, you'll have to go online and plug the internet because I haven't memorized her phone number. But I don't deal with them as much as I do with Congressman Posey's office.
Right, and Rob Medina is a Marine, a former Marine. So.
Absolutely. Careful. There's no such thing as a former Marine.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
That's
yes.
Right.
Any congressman.
But contact anybody that'll listen and just let them know that this can't go on. There's way too much waste and abuse in every other area to ever point a finger at our veterans or our retirees and say, you need to pull your fair share.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, they're trying to take $500 billion out of the Pentagon's budget, which is half of the deficit that they couldn't solve through that committee they put together. Remember that super committee who did nothing? Why are the military paying half the debt when they created at the most 10% of
right.
it?
Make some noise, folks. Stay tuned right here on AM 1300 WMEL for the second half of American Warrior Radio.
We'll be back at you.